Are you feeling discouraged about your garden? Do you ever feel like overwhelmed with a never-ending list of things to do? Well, you're not alone. Well, I'm no psychologist. I do know that this happens to me now and then. Here are 10 things to help you get back into the groove and remember why you started gardening in the first place. Hi, I'm Marion Owen, the gardener's coach, and these are my 10 inner gardening tools, tools that are just as important as my favorite gloves or my favorite weeding tool. The first tool is to take a break. If I'm upset because I can't for the life of me figure out what's chewing holes in my lettuce, or I'm so tired of pulling weeds, I take a break. Stepping away from my garden for a few hours or a few days helps me get a new perspective with fresh eyes. Let me explain it this way. My husband Marty loves to do Sudoku puzzles, and he's pretty good at it, but sometimes he gets stuck. And the harder he tries, the more frustrated he gets. And then he'll set it down for a few hours, sometimes overnight. And then, when he gets back to the puzzle with pen in hand, he goes, "Yeah, there's the answer. I couldn't see it before." Feel free to take a screenshot of the garden Sudoku puzzle I created. Even while you're sleeping, your brain continues to come up with solutions to our problems. While answers might not arrive on your doorstep in a cardboard box from Amazon, if you just let go and trust, your next steps will show up for you. The second tool is to focus on the positive. Here's the thing. We are our own worst critics. In other words, don't compare your garden with somebody else's, unless it's with the intention of learning. When we compare our efforts to someone else's, we usually come up short. The next time you visit a neighbor's, say, vegetable patch or shop for plants at a garden center, avoid thinking things like, "Wow, everything looks so darn perfect." Here's what I recommend. Go to your neighbor's vegetable patch with the intention of, what can I learn from this? Another thing, hit the pause button now and again and ask questions. Ask questions that originate from a place of non-judgment. That way, we're more open to answers in the first place. And that's when we learn the most. Remember, gardening is a process, and it's normal to make mistakes. I'm going to ask you now to embrace imperfection, because wanting to have the perfect garden holds you back from enjoying the process. Playing in the dirt is messy. Raising kids is messy. You don't have to get it perfect. And if your primary goal is to bring your garden up to some ultimate picture-perfect perfection, then you're missing the most important part, the journey. You're gardening for the wrong reason. Another way to focus on the positive is to avoid dwelling on what's not going well in your garden. Focus on what is thriving, not dying. Celebrate the successes, even if they're small. I like to take pictures and keep a journal. It helps me document the progress I'm making. It's too easy to overlook the credit we deserve. Even if it's finally setting up that compost area or growing a patch of flowers for bumblebees. When I was a young teen, I played tennis in the Junior Davis Cup team. I learned a great lesson about focusing on the positive from a Japanese girl as she talked about her backhand. "Backhand," she said, "not good. But our team coach encourages me to focus on my forehand and my serve, my strengths." I never forgot that. My third tool is practice slow gardening. Years ago, I was in Washington State speaking at the Seattle Flower and Garden Show. In my talk, I shared how to get a garden going and to begin by planting trees and shrubs, the bones of your garden, and then to go from there. Now, at the end of my presentation, a lady in the back, she raised her hand and stood right up. "Hey," she said, "this all sounds good, but I want my garden now. I don't want to wait years before I have a finished garden." And with that, she sat down, heaved a big sigh, and folded her arms. Rumph. Plants remind us to slow down. Otherwise, we don't notice the tiny new flower buds or that one aphid that could lead to a full-blown aphid invasion. You can't be in tune with your plants if you're in a hurry or worrying about getting your car fixed. Which leads me to my fourth tool. Start small. Gardening is not a competition. It's not a race. If you're feeling overwhelmed, scale back a bit. I mean, did I really need to grow 30 kinds of garlic? I did exactly that. I tested 30 kinds of garlic to see what would grow best in our coastal Alaska climate. But keeping track of when I planted what, which variety was doing better, and who got compost and who didn't, well, it made my head hurt. Today, I grow exactly one kind of garlic, which happens to be a hard-neck garlic called Russian white. To start small, you can begin with one raised bed, a small patch of ground, or a couple containers on your deck. You'd be surprised how much satisfaction you can get even a small, well-tended garden can give you. Oh, hey, if you're finding these tips helpful, give me a thumbs up. It really helps. My fifth tool, set realistic goals. Now, what exactly does that mean? It means to set achievable goals for your garden. I mean, how do you eat a bowl of soup? One spoonful at a time. Trying to do too much at once, say spending 12 hours in the garden, only creates stress and burnout. Before you know it, it's hard to muster the will to even go out into the garden. My friend Ken, he lives in Florida. He loves to go on long bike trips. One ride took him from Florida across the United States to Washington State. Ken left on a sunny day in May. A few hundred miles outside of his hometown, though, he came to his first big uphill climb. Halfway up, he got off his bike, walked it over to a tree, and sat down. Ken was having second thoughts. Would I ever reach Seattle at this rate? You need to know something about Ken. As a child, he suffered from polio. Walking his entire life, walking was hard, and riding a bike provided mobility. Ken also has type 1 diabetes. So, he pulled out his phone to call his coach. "Ken," she said, "don't focus on the distance you have to go. Just take it 1 mile at a time. Then focus your attention on the next mile and then the next one. That's how you're going to get to Seattle." This leads us to tool number 6. Ask for help. Everyone needs help now and then. No need to feel embarrassed or ashamed. Does your back hurt? Do you need help turning the compost pile, soil, or do you need help transplanting seedlings? Whether it's from a friend, a family member, or a professional, getting support can help you get back on track. Now, for my 7th tool, take care of yourself. Gardening can be demanding, so it's important to take care of yourself. Soon I will be 70 years young. These days I'm more conscious of how I lift things and am I drinking enough water, using the right tools. Speaking of tools, tool number 8, branch out. Find a gardening buddy or a community. Gardening is often a solitary activity, but it doesn't have to be like that. Join a gardening club or find a friend who shares your passion for gardening or wants to learn. Not only can you share tips and advice, but you can also commiserate about challenges and celebrate the successes. On to tool number 9. Make it fun. Add a splash of garden art like Daisy the dragon here. She's a mosaic dragon that I built from styrofoam, broken plates, and bits of glass. Daisy, by the way, breathes steam from our boiler. Or then my friend here, Blue Frog. I move him around the garden. Kids love to find where Blue Frog hangs out. Tool number 10. When you get down in the dumps, think of others. Grow cut flowers to lift, someone's spirits. Salad greens for a neighbor or beets because the widow down the street grew them as a child. I want to share one little bonus tip with you, and this is something I try to do from the moment I wake up in the morning until I go to bed at night. And that's to dedicate all my efforts to God, to please Him first. And it's funny because doing that, everything seems to work out. So there you have it, my inner gardening tools that help me get back into the groove when I'm feeling discouraged. Take a break, focus on the positive, embrace imperfection, practice slow gardening, start small, find a gardening buddy or community, and don't forget to have fun. I hope these tips will help you get back into the gardening groove too. Enjoy the resources I posted below for you, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!